At the beginning, we may as well consider the question so often asked by the neophyte, who desires to be informed regarding the meaning of the word plane, which term has been very freely used and very poorly explained in many recent works upon the subject of occultism. The question is generally about as follows. Is a plane a place having dimensions, or is it merely a condition or state? We answer, no, not a place, nor ordinary dimension of space, and yet more than a state or condition. It may be considered as a state or condition, and yet the state or condition is a degree of dimension in a scale subject to measurement. Somewhat paradoxical, is it not? But let us examine the matter. A dimension, you know, is a measure in a straight line relating to measure, etc. The ordinary dimensions of space are length, breadth, and height, or perhaps length, breadth, height, thickness, or circumference. But there is another dimension of created things, or measure in a straight line, known to occultists, and to scientists as well, although the latter have not as yet applied the term dimension to it. And this new dimension, which, by the way, is the much speculated about fourth dimension, is the standard used in defining the degrees or planes. The fourth dimension may be called the dimension of vibration. It is a fact well known to modern science, as well as to Hermeticists who have embodied the truth in their third Hermetic principle, that everything is in motion, everything vibrates, nothing is at rest. From the highest manifestation to the lowest, everything and all things vibrate. Not only do they vibrate at different rates of motion, but as in different directions and in a different manner. The degrees of the rate of vibrations constitute the degrees of measurement on the scale of vibrations. In other words, the degrees of the fourth dimension. And these degrees form what occultists call planes. The higher the degree of rate of vibration, the higher the plane, and the higher the manifestation of life occupying that plane. So that while a plane is not a place, nor yet a state or condition, yet it possesses qualities common to both. We shall have more to say regarding the subject of the scale of vibrations in our next lessons, in which we shall consider the Hermetic principle of vibration. You will kindly remember, however, that the three great planes are not actual divisions of the phenomena of the universe, but merely arbitrary terms used by the Hermeticists in order to aid in the thought and study of the various degrees and forms of universal activity and life. The atom of matter, the unit of force, the mind of man, and the being of the archangel are all but degrees in one scale, and all fundamentally the same, the difference between solely a matter of degree and rate of vibration. All are creations of the all, and have their existence solely within the infinite mind of the all.
Exploring the Kybalion. What is up, alien army? I am Occultist, the alien next door, purveyor of esoteric lore, and on this channel we discuss everything out of this world. So today's topic, we are going to be hanging out with Daddy, Mr. Aleister Crowley with an IE.
Oh yeah.
Before we get into today's video, I want to give a big shout out to my 4D daddy, Mr. Aleister Crowley. What he wants me to let you know, disciple, is that if you are interested in exploring the fourth dimensional plane of existence in the state of time and co-creating your own reality, hence becoming a magician, because now you are operating at a fourth dimensional vibratory frequency rather than the 3D vibratory frequency, the third dimensional plane becomes your motherfucking chessboard. You are the hand of God. You reach in, you move chess pieces around, whoever, whatever, in your 3D realm experience, and it will seem like an act of God, because you are the magician putting on an act, and you know you are God. So you can pick and choose what you want to happen in the 3D realm by simply owning your inner magic, and Aleister Crowley is always here to help out with that. Do not call upon him, though, seeker, if you are not willing to learn what he would like to school you on. Once again, big thank you to our wonderful sponsor of today's video, Mr. Aleister Crowley. Now let's get back to the show.
Solid performance.
The act. And he did guide me into discussing some channeled messages in regards to this passage in the Kybalion that I read in the intro. So according to this passage in the Kybalion,
from what I understand,
is that the fourth dimension is the measure of the space of energetic potential. If you want to think of the third dimension as physical matter that you measure, like you measure the height, the length,
whatever the fuck,
how tall is something, how wide is something, however you want to call fucking spatial dimensions in 3D, we can do the same thing in the fourth dimensional vibration. So the fourth dimension is the place where things exist energetically, and they are the very things that you sometimes see before you in the 3D. That is before they have condensed and coagulated into physical matter, but they do very, very much already exist. That's why they are able to be measured in reference to what we're discussing here. So the thing that you desire, that you see in your mind's eye, does exist from a fourth dimensional standpoint. It's very much as real as shit that you see in front of you with your two humanoid eyes. The difference in measuring something from a fourth dimensional state is that we are measuring its space. How much space does it take up according to the rate at which it is vibrating? Because remember, also as well, the Kybalion states, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. So the measure of this thing that already exists in the fourth dimensional plane is going to dictate its speed in arriving in the 3D.
So if we want to simplify this, let's just say, for fuck's sake,
we could think about this in terms of quantum measurement. Even though quantum kind of already means measurement, I feel like it's suitable in this context because it's not really a measure that you can pinpoint, put your finger on, but you can measure it from an energetic standpoint.
If you catch my drift.
So if you are seeing something
with your third eye
in the fourth dimension, know that it already exists. It exists at an accelerated vibratory rate that cannot be perceived yet by the two third dimensional eyes. So the reason it can't be seen is simply because the quantum measure of it is so fast that it has not slowed down enough to be coagulated and condensed into physical matter. It is oscillating too rapidly and at such a high frequency that the third dimensional two eyes cannot comprehend it. That's why if you hear someone, if they say that they are having a dimethyltryptamine experience, they see colors and hear sounds and comprehend things from that state of being that you would not even be able to describe from a third dimensional vantage point. It's sort of similar here, but instead we have a little bit more of an understanding of the fourth dimensional space state, because the 3D, which, you know, motherfuckers here, we're residing in 3D, we grew up with 3D, so we're familiar with that. The 4D state is just simply closer, that's why. So we have a better grasp.
A lot of us do, some of us don't.
Sure you do.
Because you wouldn't be looking at this video if you didn't.
It's just simply because it's in closer proximity to the three-dimensional vibration. Those are the planes. And I went a little bit into it as well because the third dimensional plane, we want to think of it as tangible things.
Shit that you could feel up and shit, you know, shit you could touch.
And then we have the 4D, which the thing is very much real, but it's just vibrating at an accelerated rate. And that is therefore the plane of the 4D, which has different energies of space that the thing that already exists is comprised of. So the planes of which the Kybalion references here is simply the caliber as to which the thing vibrates. So instead of saying how tall is it, for example, or how wide is it, like you would in the 3D, you say how fast is it vibrating? What is the velocity of the vibration?
Shit like that. How the fuck do you measure that?
How does one determine the spatial components of the thing that already exists? The fourth dimension. This is the energetic measurement. 4D, aka sometimes referred to as the dimension of time. Not necessarily linear time, but
all time.
At least as from the third dimensional perspective in physics. Time, distance, velocity. This is the rate of measurement in the 4D. A
little fun example.
Time exists in a different state, in its vibratory frequency, then does its velocity, then does its distance. They're all the same thing. They're all states as to which the Kybalion speaks of here in the fourth dimensional plane. These are different states. These are different rates of measuring energetic things that already exist. But their difference is simply the way their operation ensues. Their modus operandi. It's different to each of them because they are different additives of the whole, or to the whole, by the whole.
So, quick little metaphor.
Picture you tossing a bunch of different ingredients into a mixing bowl, mixing them all together to form one delicious fucking conglomeration that you just want to lick the fucking spoon and egg beater fucking legs with.
I don't know what they're called, but they're called egg beater legs now.
You lick that cake batter off and it tastes oh so good, but it was comprised of different ingredients being put together in the bowl. That is what we want to think of as the thing which already exists in the fourth dimension. It is comprised of different rates of measure, those states. Let's say sugar going into the bowl is one state, egg going into the bowl is another state, milk going into the bowl is another state. That's the same thing true, only from an energetic wavelength. Like I mentioned, time, distance, velocity, they're all different ingredients going inside the same bowl to comprise the thing which already exists.
Take a shot or a fucking puff every time I say that.
The thing which already exists, or the thing that has already been created.
Boom.
And then you will see how the different states operate. Eggs are going to be whisked in a different way. You gotta like turn the blender up or turn it lower to whisk the egg differently than you would whisk the milk inside that same bowl because they're different. They're all comprising the same thing, but they're fucking different. They're just being measured differently. You don't put the same amount of salt in a recipe as you do sugar because they're different, but they're all ingredients comprising the thing which you are creating. So the same idea, only from a fourth dimensional energetic standpoint. From my interpretation, from what I'm channeling, from what
Mr. Crowley, he's so holy,
is guiding me to let you all know, is that the 4D is the measure of the intangible, and the different states are the different ingredients that are composing the thing which already exists. The Kybalion calls the fourth dimension the dimension of vibration because these things are vibrating. They have always been vibrating, they are vibrating, and they always will be vibrating. Time, distance, and velocity. They exist in created things. When the Kybalion refers to the all, this is everything that ever was, is, and ever will be, because if the all did not already contain the all, then it would not be called the all. So nothing can be taken away from the all. The all just simply exists, and everything that you can imagine from a fourth dimensional plane of existence already exists because the 4D is comparable to,
in my interpretation for what I've channeled,
being inside the mind of the all. Communication with the all is governed by the vibrations sensationalized in the 4D plane. So the different states are going to sensationalize in different ways in the psyche. And that is how these things are going to coagulate into the experience. It will dictate the time that the thing arrives in the 3D. It will dictate the distance of how far away that thing is from you or how near it is to you in the 3D. And it will also dictate the manner in which the thing arrives. Is it going to arrive suddenly? Is it going to arrive in a way where you already expect it? All of these things are dictated from the fourth dimensional plane by measuring time, distance, velocity, how you are interpreting that thing, because that is where you can see into all aspects of time and pick and choose when you want the thing to arrive. The thing is, a lot of individuals have not yet mastered the 3D, let alone the 4D, so they just aren't aware that they do have control over how these things that have already been created arrive, or if they arrive at all. So this is actually good news, because if someone sees something from the fourth dimensional plane in the mind of the all and they don't like it, they can choose to focus away from that and then not give it energy and conduct the energetic components of the different states of the thing. They will not instruct that energy to gravitate towards them on the 3D. They can simply turn their attention away from it, focus on something else that they do want to experience, preferably the opposite.
We always want to balance the poles.
Thank you, Daddy.
And so on and so forth, because everything already exists. Things that the seeker wants to experience, things that the seeker might not want to experience ever again. They all exist, but their pull towards you, their gravity into slowing down into coagulated matter, is going to be dependent on the attention that you are giving the different states that are comprising them in the 4D. So when you are in imagination, you are in the mind of the all, where
Anything and everything is possible.
Because it already exists.
the thing already exists. These things are already created, and they are all ready for you to receive them if you so desire.
It's all up to you, homie Holmes.
So that's what I got for you today. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful stroll through Le Kybalion. Thank you, Daddy, Mr. Aleister Crowley. I'm Oculus, the alien next door. We will chit-chat again soon.